Hello and greetings to everyone. We have the following question to answer. The question goes, find the value of x in each of the following triangles below. For A, we have the right angled triangle, of which we are to find the length of the base of that triangle. This is a right angled triangle because one of its internal angles is 90 degrees. You can see that's the 90 degrees angle. For us to find the value of x in this triangle, we are going to make good use of Pythagoras Theorem, which states that for any right angled triangle, if you take the square of the hypotenuse, it is equal to the sum of the squares of the height and the base. So for question A, we're going to start by saying by using Pythagoras Theorem, we have this is the hypotenuse of the square 8. This will give us 10 squared to be equal to the height squared. This is the height, 6 squared plus the base squared, x squared. So this will give us 10 squared is simply 10 times 10, which is 100, equal to 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is equal to 36 plus x squared. Next step, we are going to make x squared the subject of formula. So we are going to transfer 36 to the left hand side. This will give us 100 minus 36 equal to x squared. Next, if we take 100 minus 36, this will simply give us 64 is equal to x squared. 64 equal to x squared is the same as x squared is equal to 64. Next, we are to find the value of x. And for us to get the value of x, what we are going to do is we are going to take square roots on both sides. So this will simply give us the square root of x squared is equal to the square root of 64. Then this will give us, okay, in this case, we know if we take the square root of x squared as such, it's simply the same. It is simply equal to the magnitude of x. And for us to take the square root of, here we know since x is for distance, then x must be greater than 0. Must be greater than or equal to 0. Since x is greater than or equal to 0, then the magnitude of x will simply be x. So in this case, we have the square root of x squared to be x is equal to, we know if you take the square root of 64, the square root of 64 is simply equal to plus or minus 8. We know distance is always positive. Distance can never be negative. So in this case, we are simply going to take the positive root of 64, which is positive 8. So in this case, x will simply be equal to positive 8. Then we are going to conclude, therefore, 4 x is equal to 8. I'll just put 8 units. That means it can be 8 centimeters, it can be 8 meters, it can be 8 kilometers, it can be 8 decimeters. This distance. Next, let's go now to question B. Question B, here we have to find the value of x here. In this case, you see that this triangle is not a right angled triangle. We have to find the value of this side. In this case, an angle has been given, an angle in between two sides has been given, and the side which is opposite to that angle, the dimension has been given. In this case, we are simply going to make use of the cosine rule. I'm going to make use of the cosine rule. And the cosine rule simply states that, for example, if you have a triangle as such, let me just draw a rough diagram. If you have a triangle as such, let's assume this is the angle E. This side opposite is small e. Here, this side is of dimension B. This other side is of dimension C. The cosine rule states that for you to find the side E squared will simply be equal to D squared plus C squared minus 2 times B times C cos the angle in between these two sides, which is E. So we are going to apply the cosine rule here. In this case, this side has been given, the side which is opposite the angle, we have 12. This will give us 12 squared to be equal to 4 squared plus x squared. So x squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times x times 4 cos 60 degrees. Because the angle in between these two sides is 60 degrees. This angle. So now we need now to carry out the necessary simplifications. So this will give us, we know 12 squared is simply the same as 12 times 12. 12 times 12. This will simply be equal to 144. So this will give us 144 to be equal to x squared plus 4 squared. We know 4 squared is 16 minus, here we are going to take 2 times x. It gives us 2x times 4. 4 will simply be equal to 2x times 4 will simply give us 8x. Next times cos 60, the cos of 60 degrees is simply 0.5. If you make use of a calculator, next you have to perform necessary simplifications. This will give us 144. Going to transfer 16 this way, which gives us minus 16 equal to x squared minus, if we take 8x times 0.5, we know 0.5 is the same as a half. 8 times a half will simply give us 4. So this will give us minus 4x. Next, if you take 144 minus 16, we are going to take a 1 here. We add to this 4, it gives us 14. 14 minus 16 gives us 8. Here we are left with 3 minus 1, it gives us 2, bring down 1, so it gives us 128 to be equal to x squared minus 4x as such. Now we are going to arrange this equation. Here we see that the highest power of the variable x is 2. So it already tells us that this is a quadratic equation. So if we arrange this equation, this will simply give us, if we transfer 128 this way, this will simply give us x squared minus 4x minus, it becomes negative 128 to equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation. And we can solve this quadratic equation by making use of the formula method. I prefer we use the formula method. So I'll write down using the quadratic formula, which states that this is the quadratic formula for have ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, or a not equal to 0, a, b, c belonging to the set of real numbers. Then for us to get x will simply be equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over. We are dividing all this by 2e. Most often you'll see students writing things like something like this. We'll just make something like this, which is wrong. We are dividing everything at the numerator by 2e. Then the square root sign, you're taking the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So you take note. Next, now, if we comparing x squared minus 4x minus 128 equal to 0 with the general form of a quadratic equation with ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, comma, we have, if we compare them, we have a will simply be the coefficient of x squared, a will simply be equal to 1, b will simply be the coefficient of x, b will be equal to negative 4, and c, the constant term, will simply be equal to negative 128. Take note of the sign, we have a negative sign, negative sign. So now we can make use of our quadratic formula, that is, our x will simply be equal to, we are going to replace a, b, and c in the formula. So this will give us negative, b is negative 4, plus or minus the square root of b is negative 4. We're going to square it, minus 4 times a is 1, times c is negative 128. Then we have to divide all through by 2 times a, which is 1. Next, now we have to simplify. So this will give us negative 4, which will give us negative, if we take negative 1 times negative 4, it will simply be, because we know negative 4 is the same as negative 1 times negative 4. If you multiply two negative numbers, the resulting sign will be positive. 1 times 4 remains 4. So this will give us 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared. That means negative 4 squared. We simply this as negative 4 times negative 4. We are multiplying two negative numbers, so the resulting number will be positive. 4 times 4 gives us 16. Then next we have negative 4. We have to multiply negative 4 by 128. So this will simply give us, we are multiplying two negative numbers, so the resulting sum will be positive. So this will give us 512. Divide by 2 times 1 gives us 2. So this will simply be equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of, if you take 512 plus 16, it gives us 528. We have to divide by 2. Next, we know 528. If you take the square root of 528, we are not going to obtain a whole number. It's not possible. So what we are simply going to do is we are going to express it in the simplest form. That's what we are going to do. So if we divide the number 500 and we take 528, 528 can be written as 16 times 33. Yes, 16 times 33 will give us 528. So what we are simply going to do is, 528, take the square root of this. This simply this as the square root of 16 times 33. So this will give us the square root of 16 times the square root of 33, which will simply be equal to 4 root 33. Because the square root of 4 is, the square root of 16 is 4. So this will give us 4 plus or minus 4 root 33 all over 2. At the numerator here, 4 is common, so we can factor out 4. If you factor out 4, we'll be left with 1 plus or minus root 33 all over 2. So this will simply give us 2 will go here 1, 2 will go into 4 2 times, so 2 times 1 plus or minus root 33. So we are going to obtain two values for x. We are going to obtain x to be equal to 2 times 1 plus root 33, or x to be equal to 2 times 1 minus root of 33. Okay, now for the second case, for the first case, you see 1 plus root 33 gives us a positive number. If we take the root of 33, we know the root of 33 is approximately 5.74, which is greater than 1. Then for the second case, if you take 1 minus, like here, 1 minus 5.74, it gives a negative result. It is less than 0. So in this case, in the second case, x is negative, of which distance cannot be negative. You can see this distance cannot be negative. So we are going to discard the second value of x. We are going to take only the first value of x, because we know distance is always positive. We are going to conclude, therefore x is simply equal to 2 times 1 plus root of 33. Units. Now we have to move now to the next question. C. For C, we have two right angle triangles. In one triangle, we have a triangle ABC, which is a right angle triangle. You can say 90 degrees angle. We have triangle AGE, which is a right angle triangle. In this case, we know triangle ABC is similar to triangle AGE. They are similar triangles. It simply means if you take the ratio of AB to AD is the same as the ratio of AC to AE, or the ratio of BC to DE. That's why these two triangles are similar. And for us to answer this question, the first step, we can easily find the value of x by making use of Pythagoras Theorem. Because this is a right angle triangle, we know this side, we know this side, so we can find x. Using Pythagoras Theorem, we can find the value of x. That is, for us to get the value of x, we know the hypotenuse in this case is hypotenuse is x. X squared will simply be equal to 2 squared plus 5 squared. So this will give us x squared is equal to 2 squared plus the root of 5 squared. This will give us x squared to be equal to 2 squared is simply 2 times 2, which is 4, plus we know if you take root 5 squared, this will simply give us 5. Next, this will give us x squared to be equal to 4 plus 5, which is 9. Next, for us to get the value of x, we are going to take square root on both sides. So if we take square root on both sides, this will give us the square root of x squared to be equal to the square root of 9. Then this will give us x to be equal to, in this case, we are going to take only the positive square root. And we know the positive square root of 9 is simply 3. So our x is 3. Let's conclude therefore x is simply equal to 3 units. Since it is distance, let's underline the answer. We have succeeded in getting x. Now let's find the value of y and z. Finding y and z. For us to get y and z, now first thing we know that these two triangles are triangle ABC and triangle AZE. They are similar. So if I take the ratio of the side AB, I take AB to AD, it must be equal to BC to DE. It must also be equal to AC to AE. So if we make use of that, we have the ratio of the side AB to the side ED must be equal to the ratio of the side EC to AE. Now we know AB is of length. You can say AB is of length 2 units. AD is of length 2 plus Y. So this will give us 2 over 2 plus Y to be equal to, we know AC is of length X. We are just from calculating X, which is 3, and AE is of length X plus 3. So this will give us 3 all over X plus 3, which is 3 plus 3. So this will give us 2 over 2 plus Y is equal to 3 over 3 plus 3 gives us 6. Now the next thing, we have to find the value of Y. And for us to get the value of Y, what we are simply going to do is we are going to multiply both sides of this fraction, both sides of the two fractions, by the LCM of the denominators of the two fractions. You know the LCM will simply be, if you take the LCM of 2 plus Y and 6, it will simply be the same as 2 plus Y times 6. So if you multiply both sides by 2 plus Y times 6, this will simply give us a 2 plus Y times 6. We get to multiply it by the first fraction by this fraction times this is over 1 times 2 over 2 plus Y should be equal to 3 and 6 times 2 plus Y over 1 times 3 over 6. So this will simply give us 2 plus Y will cancel 2 plus Y here. This will give us 6 times 2, which is 12. 12 will simply be equal to, this 6 will cancel this 6. It will be left with 3 times 2 plus Y. Another easy way of doing it is simply by saying you cross multiply. You take 2 times 6, and you take 3 times 2 plus Y. So you just have something like this. If this other method is so complicated, you do something like this. Take this one times this one, this times this. You take the numerator of the first fraction, you multiply by the denominator of the second fraction. Then you take the denominator of the first fraction, you multiply by the numerator of the first fraction. You take 2 times 6, then you maintain the equality sign, equal to 3 times 2 plus Y. You can see it here, which is the same thing. So this will give us 12 to be equal to, if we expand the bracket this way, at the right hand side, 3 times 2 gives us 6, plus 3 times Y gives us 3Y. Next, we are going to send 6 to the left hand side, which becomes negative. So this will give us 12 minus 6, which is 6, is equal to 3Y. And this is a linear equation. For us to get Y, now we are going to divide all through by the coefficient of Y, which is 3. So 6 divided by 3 is equal to 3Y divided by 3. Then Y will simply be equal to, if you divide 6 by 3, gives you 2. Y will simply be 2 units. Next, now we have to find Z. And for us to get Z, it's very easy. We are still going to apply the same notion of similar triangles. For us to get Z, or we can simply find Z by using Pythagoras Theorem. Since we already know X, we already know Y. No matter the method we use, we are still going to obtain the same answer. So now let's find z. If we decide to make use of the notion of similar triangles, we know if we take AB to AD, it should be the same as BC to DE. Okay, we know AB is of dimension 2 units. AD is of dimension 2 plus y. 2 plus y is the same as 2 plus 2. We are just from calculating y, which is 2. So this will give us this has to be equal to DC. DC is of dimension root 5 all over DE is of dimension Z, what we are looking for. So this will give us 2 all over 4 to equal to root 5 all over Z. So if we simplify this one, this will give us a half to equal to root 5 on Z. So now what we are simply going to do is we are going to apply that method of cross multiplication. So this will give us Z times 1, which is Z, equal to 2 times root 5, which is 2 root 5. So this will simply give us Z as 2 root 5 units. We are done. Or let's make use of the other method. Alternatively, let's make use of Pythagoras Theorem. Alternatively, we can make use of Pythagoras Theorem. We know for us to get Z, Z is a base. We know if you take AE squared, which is the hypotenuse, it should be equal to the sum of the square of the height AD squared plus DE squared. This will give us, AE squared is equal to AD squared plus DE squared. So we know AE is the same as AE is the same as x plus 3, x plus 3, x plus 3, which is the same as, we know, we are just from calculating x, we calculated x and we had x as 3. So this will give us 3 plus 3, which is 6. Then we know AD is equal to 2 plus y. Just from calculating y, we had y as 2 units. This is y, 2 units. So this will simply give us 2 plus 2, which is equal to 4. And we know DE is simply equal to Z, what we are looking for. DE simply equal to Z. Now, if we replace them here, this will give us AE. We know AE is equal to 6. So here we have 6 squared to equal to AD. AD is 4 squared plus DE is simply equal to Z. So we have Z squared. 6 squared is simply equal to 36. 36 is equal to 4 squared is equal to 16 plus Z squared. Next, we have to make Z squared a social formula. So we're going to transfer 16 this way. This will give us 36 minus 16 to equal to Z squared. 36 minus 16 is simply equal to 20. So 20 is equal to Z squared. Then, now if you take square root on both sides, you know this will give us the magnitude of Z. We know Z is greater than or equal to 0, which is Z. Then Z will simply be equal to, we know root 20 is the same as the root of, we can express 20 as the product of two numbers such that one of them is a perfect square. So this will give us 4 times 5. This will be equal to the root of 4 times the root of 5, which is 2 root 5. So this will simply give us 2 root 5 units, which is the same result as first. We are done with the solution. If in case there are any questions, make sure you leave them at the comment section. You do well to like the video, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for watching.